Okay, last week we talked about how to create values for you and then transfer those values to your company. And I took you through an exercise on why it was important to do that, or how to do it, not why it's important to do that. Today, I want to talk with you about why it was important to do that. So the truth is about values, we all have them. Most of the time, we never really sit down and figure out what they are or why they're important. So you did that, you figured out what your values were last week when we talked. Now this week, I want to spend a few minutes with you and just talk about why they're important. You know, the fact is, if you don't have articulated values in your company, all the people in your company are making up what the values are, and it's basically based on what their values are, not your values. Now here's something that's really important about values. Values are not a group activity. It's not something you should be doing with your employees. The people who come to work with you in your company, they need to be adopting or be excited about the values that you have articulated and you want to live with. Why is this important? Well, the thing that's important for you is you want to live a congruent life. A congruent life means that your values match how you live. Now, when you do that, what happens? You become happier, it's easier to get things done, you're going to have people working with you who you really enjoy having in your company, and you're now going to be able to say, this is the right person, or this is the wrong person, and you're going to know why. So let's talk about how we might use values. So one great purpose for having clear values is it helps in the hiring process. Now, if you're hiring based on technical skills first, you're making a big mistake. You should always hire on values first, because if you have people with the right values, you can teach them what to do. Now, sometimes you have to change their behavior and how they do things, and that's a little bit harder to do, but I can tell you the hardest thing to change in somebody is their belief system or their value system. So if they're not buying the values you have, you probably have the wrong person in your company. Here's the second thing you can use your values for. It helps you identify what the right type of customer is. Now I know this has happened to you, or I expect it's happened to you. It's happened to me a lot. A lot of times I'll find I end up with a customer whose value system does not match mine, or is so far away from mine that they're not a good match. For example, I've had some clients in the past who have been sort of loose and fast with honesty around how they run their business. Now, one of my core values is rights and respect. And the first cousin of rights and respect is honesty. So if somebody isn't honest about how they deal with their customers, I have a really, really hard time working with them in an effective way. I'm going to bet that you found over the years you've had customers you just didn't click with, and I'm going to bet the reason you didn't click with it was there was a values mismatch there. Here's another reason you want values. It makes it easier when you start talking about your values for potential customers to know whether you're the right fit for them and they're the right fit for you. And what I call this is self-selection. Now, a lot of times customers will come to you because they know it's the right place to go. Now, if you take a look at a company like Zappos, there are people who love doing business with Zappos. It's because Zappos has a very clear set of values and how they deal with their customers. Nordstrom's wasn't the same way. Nordstrom's gave their employees lots of flexibility on making the customer happy. It was basically do the right thing. That was a value of theirs. And customers who liked that, they would go to Nordstrom's and they would do business with them. Another reason you want to have values, clearly articulated values in your company, and I hate to talk about this, but it really is true, is a disciplinary conversation. If somebody is not fitting into your company, you don't want to just fire them. What you do want to do is you want to talk to them about their behavior. And you want to talk to them about their behavior as it relates to values in your company. So those are 4 good reasons that values exist. And those are 4 good reasons that you're going to want to have done the exercises that we talked about last week. So at the bottom of this video, there's a call to action button. That call to action button gets you our 1-page cheat sheet on how to develop values in your company, what you have to do, the steps you have to take. It's really easy to get it. Just click on the button, give me your email address, and we'll have it on its way to you. And this is Josh Patrick. You've been at The Sustainable Business. Thanks a lot for stopping by. I hope to see you back here really soon.